Your business grows in clear, intentional phases. In this episode, you'll learn the 6 phases that photographers move through so that you can pinpoint where you are right now, focus on what matters most while you're in that phase, and avoid the mistakes that stall your growth. Clarity at every stage gives you the power to make confident, momentum building moves. Hey there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side, and it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography that's designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales. That reduces the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. Now, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her wonderful, amazing team are going to make you look like a hero. And that's just by default. It's because Amanda hires fantastic people who love what they do. There's a career people who are going to be there for years, who have been there for years, and they love what they do. That means every time you send in an order, they know what they're doing. They've done it a million times, and your work looks amazing. That's why, by default, you look like a hero to your clients. If you haven't already, go to digitalprolab.com and take advantage of the difference that Digital Pro Lab makes. That's digitalprolab.com. And of course, for Landers Photography School, that's my company. I do both. I teach both the photography side and the business side. And so I know not everybody feels that they need classes, but it's interesting. Those who do take the classes are usually those you wouldn't expect, those who you're looking up to, those who you're thinking, I want to be where they are. They're the ones who are normally calling me. And guess what they're telling me? I wish I would have reached out to you a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, I could have told them that, but they don't necessarily know it. And I make it easy because I make it where you can have a free lesson with me. All you got to do is, and let me put that on a still. There we go. Just reach out to me via this web address you see on the screen right now. That's Calendly, just like calendar, but calendly.com/photo school/15MIN. That gets you a free private lesson with me, just you and me, to talk about your goals. So therefore, you don't have the excuse of, oh, I really can't afford that. And if you have the procrastination thought of, I want to do that, but it's not the right time. It isn't ever the right time. The thing that makes it right is you making the effort. So if it's not the right time yet, it's because you haven't chosen to make the effort, not because it's not the right time. Take advantage of it right now. It's easy and it's fun. You will be glad you did. I want to encourage you guys throughout this lesson today to make comments, to ask questions, to hit that love button, to hit that like button. Let me know that you're watching this show. Interact with me. Let me know. And this show is being simulcast to multiple places. It's being simulcast to a couple of Facebook pages, to Instagram, to LinkedIn, to a couple of YouTube channels. Enter in the comment section right now, #live. #live. That lets me know that you're watching on one of those places we're simulcast to. #live. Now, if you're watching the replay, please enter in #replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show. That is how you found out about it, because someone shared it with you. And that's how the next person finds out about it, because you shared it with them. Click that share button. Maybe tag someone who you think could benefit from this show. Let them know. That's how the word gets spread. We don't do any advertising, not at all. It's spread because you shared it with others. Every photographer's path is unique. I mean, that's no surprise. But the journey to building a thriving photography business, it's really any independent business at all. But obviously, this is the Portrait Profit Show, so I'm focusing in on photography business. The journey to building a thriving business isn't random. It unfolds in phases. Each phase brings with it its own focus, its own challenges, and its own kind of growth. When you know what phase you're in, you know what matters most right now. You know where to be putting your energy. You know what to let go of for now. And you know what kind of progress you can expect. That kind of clarity will keep you motivated, and it keeps you moving forward with purpose. Lens Legends, this lesson is about recognizing the 6 phases that independent business owners move through, specifically portrait photographers. So you can stop second guessing your progress. So you can avoid the mistakes that don't match the phase that you're in. And so that you can make confident, strategic decisions that build lasting momentum. I mean, no two businesses are moving through these phases at the same pace. Some take years to move forward, others skip ahead, and sometimes that causes them to get stuck. Now, keep in mind, these phases, especially the specific parts of the phases that I'll be mentioning, aren't always experienced in the order that I'm going to share them in. You may revisit earlier phases. You may jump ahead. You may experience parts of several different phases at once. This is normal. These 6 phases give us language and clarity, so that we can move forward with intention, not perfection. It's not the goal. In fact, it shouldn't even be part of your direction. You're heading in the direction of perfection, but you don't want to go there. When you understand the phases, you gain the ability to lead your business rather than feel like you're chasing or forcing it. I'll say that again. When you understand these 6 phases that I'm about to share with you, what you gain is the ability to lead your business rather than feel like you're chasing your business or forcing it. So let's break down these 6 phases of building a photography business and help you pinpoint exactly where you are, what to focus on based on where you're at in these phases, and what to grow into next. I'm going to tell you real quickly what the phases are, and then we're going to go into each one of these with some specifics. The spark is the first, the shift, the build, the flow, the stretch, and the legacy. Now, if this sounds interesting to you, what I've described so far, I want you to go to the comments right now and let me know. You could just say yes. You could say ready or I'm ready. But I want you to go to the comments right now and let me know. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching live. The spark. This is the beginning. This is that moment when the idea of starting a photography business just energizes you, just lights you up. Maybe it starts with someone saying, you should charge for this. Or maybe you surprise yourself by creating, you photograph something for a friend. Maybe you photograph the friend. And you surprise yourself by creating a great set of images for them. The spark is all energy, curiosity, and possibility. I mean, you're not sure what it will look like yet, where it will take you, but you know you want more of this. You want more of this. Kind of reminds me of some lyrics by a country singer named Tim McGraw. I guess I won't sing it because that might be copyright infringement and I don't want to go that route. But you probably know what song I'm talking about. This phase, the spark, causes you to want more, especially when it comes to time with your camera and time with clients and planning. You've gained more pride in what you're creating. You have more of that deep, satisfying feeling when you get an image just right. At this spark stage, it's not about business plans or pricing strategies. It's all about excitement, the pull, the inner nudge that says, this could really be something. Have you felt it? I know you have, or you wouldn't waste time watching this show. So I know for sure you've experienced that one, but you may not have experienced all of the following. But let me tell you what the common actions that you'll find in the spark phase. Could be buying your first pro level camera or seriously considering it. Saying yes to photographing a friend, probably for free or pretty close to it, but saying yes to photographing a session. Maybe it's staying up late, watching tutorials, editing, you're just exploring everything you can find on photography. Maybe you're creating your first Instagram post to show off what you can do. You're dreaming about, what if I can make this happen? What if this could actually work? These things that you're feeling, that you're experiencing, these are quick wins that build your creative energy. And that's important because you realize that you're in charge of keeping your creative energy tank full. These things confirm your interest. They build your confidence. Yes, it's messy and sure, it's uncertain, but your energy level is high at this point. There are also some of these things that you'll experience are milestones, and they're some of the easiest milestones to experience, but also to miss, to not even notice that they're milestones if you're only looking at the big ones. But all of them matter. They move you from hobbyist to hopeful entrepreneur. Here's the things I want you to focus on while in the spark phase. Follow your curiosity. Explore, experiment, and give yourself free license to be excited. Keep the doubts away for a little while. They'll creep in on their own. You don't need to help them. So you need to keep feeding and encouraging that fire of excitement. Pay attention to the moments that light you up. Don't rush to get past this phase. Experience it. Be in this moment. Let it last. I mean, you're enjoying it. It's where you start to uncover what you really love about photography. And that clarity will matter in every phase, in every decision that follows. The spark is a phase of momentum and belief. And if you nurture it, that spark turns into something more, something you can build on. Let's move to the second phase. The shift is a turning point. It's the movement from, I love this, and I think I could actually do this, to actually doing things that move you in that direction. You still feel the excitement from the spark. That hasn't changed yet. But now you're starting to get serious. You're pairing that with excitement and intention. You're not just thinking about photography. You're thinking about how to make it something more in your life. You've seen and felt what's possible. Maybe you've taken on another session or a few sessions and you're getting amazing feedback. Maybe you've felt the pride that comes with delivering images that really mean something to your client. Ah, these are examples of when the shift happens because you're not dabbling anymore, you're building it. At this stage, your quick wins are starting to take more shape. You're laying a foundation, even if you don't realize it yet. This is often when photographers start calling themselves a business, maybe quietly at first, maybe only in their heads, but it is starting to get real. Let me share some common signs that you're in the shift phase. You're researching how to price your work. You may still be undercharging, but you're researching it. You've set up or are starting a basic website or a more polished social media presence. You've taken your first payment for your work. You want to make the client experience better, smoother, more thoughtful, more consistent. You're starting to compare your work to professionals and thinking, I want to be like them. How do I get there? You're noticing the kinds of photography that fill your creative energy tank and which ones drain it. You're also discovering the individuals, the people who fill your creative energy tank. And you're noticing the ones who drain it. These are important milestones. They're not really dramatic, but they are directional. Each experience says, this matters to me, and I want to do this right. Let's talk about what to focus on when you're in the shift phase. You build with intention. This is where your business starts to take shape. So take the time to learn what you need to know. So that's pricing, boundaries, personal and business, workflow, client communication, a lot more. But it's likely, no, it's going to be messy at first. That's part of it. So what? Do it anyway. If it's not messy, then you took too long to do it. Speed is much more important than perfection. No matter what, you will make some mistakes. But what you'll also see is areas for improvement. Give yourself that opportunity. It's a gift. So get going, make mistakes, raise eyebrows. It's all good. It's all part of the shift. This is also the time you need to protect your momentum. Small wins like creating a workflow that saves you an hour of time or confidently turning down a session that doesn't really align with what energizes you. These are the things that are going to keep you going in the right direction and help you understand that you are in the right direction. You're not supposed to have it all figured out yet. You just have to keep shifting forward. If you're liking what you hear, you do me a favor and click the like button. Let me know that you like what you hear. By the way, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're just in the scroll where you could keep on going, you can only click like once. However, if you click on me, the video, then it allows you to click the like button as many times as you like. So you could let me know that you're liking several different things in this video. So make sure you click that like button or that love button every time you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, comment hashtag live. Now you probably are well aware that there's a handout for every single episode that I have. And so if you want that handout, just comment hashtag handout in the comments, hashtag handout. Or if you feel it's better to do this privately, send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, jim@portraitprofits.com. Now, if you send me an email, would you tell me the name of the show? Because it's quite possible you watched a replay and it was 2 or 3 weeks ago or months ago or years ago. I'm not going to know which one you are wanting unless you tell me. But of course, if you're entering hashtag live, I'll know because it's right there on it. But if you send me an email, I won't necessarily know. All right. Phase 3. The build, this is where momentum meets structure. You've moved beyond experimenting. Oh, you still do it. You will do it for quite a while in several of the phases, but you have learned from your trials and now you're building something real. You're treating this like a business, not a hobby. That means systems, repeatable processes, pricing that supports your ideal life. I mean, what are you doing this for? And a clearer understanding of the kind of business that you want to enjoy. And if you're not enjoying this, it's not the client's fault. It's yours. You are making decisions that cause you not to enjoy it. So start making decisions that cause you to enjoy it. And if you need help with that, this is what I specialize in. Reach out to me. I keep hearing people say, I didn't want to do the business because I didn't want to lose my passion for photography. Well, if you've lost or you feel like you're going to lose your passion for photography, it is because you've done something wrong, not for any other reason. So therefore, it's a choice, and you can make adjustments to make it the kind of business that you do enjoy. In this phase, you've made a few mistakes, and that is fantastic because you've given yourself an opportunity to learn from those mistakes. If you're trying to make everything perfect, you're wasting your time. No matter what, even when you do think it's perfect, you'll look back at it later and see some things you could have fixed. So therefore, do not attempt to reach perfection. Give yourself a deadline and be done with it by that deadline with a period at the end of that statement. Keep your schedule. Become more strategic. You're not saying yes to nearly everything anymore, and you're no longer operating on adrenaline alone. This is where long-term thinking starts to become part of your decision-making process. I mean, you're no longer asking, can I do this? You're asking, how can I do this better? That is the build phase. Here's some common signs that you are in the build phase. You have clarified what you want your business to support, and you've built pricing that matches that vision. You're also refining your pricing based on experience, and when you raise your prices, you're doing that with confidence. You know it's the right thing. It's not scaring you as much as it used to. It always scares you a little bit. That's true. But at least you have the confidence knowing that this is right because this is what's going to cause me to reach my goals, to reach the ideal life that I want. You're creating systems for client communications. You're the booking, delivery. You've developed a more defined style or niche, even if it's still evolving. You're focused on consistency in your workflow, your branding, your client experience. You're learning how to talk about the value of you and the value that your work brings, not just your images. You're planning ahead. You're not just reacting. You feel comfortable saying, I'm a professional photographer, without qualifying it in any way. This is where small wins become powerful fuel. Creating an email template that saves time, building a better client guide, automating parts of your process. These things might not feel glamorous, they may not feel like something you would brag about, but they make your business sustainable. Many photographers dip into parts of this phase, but never really quite build the needed consistency. They find themselves bouncing between ideas, reacting to what's in front of them, instead of creating a rhythm that supports sustainable growth. That's exactly why naming this phase the build matters. Because when you know what's possible, you can choose to add systems and consistency so that you purposefully build something that lasts. You'll also experience milestones here that feel different. I said they're not glamorous. They may not be something to brag about. They're not flashy, but they are meaningful, like booking your client calendar months in advance. Now, some people would brag about that, and you'd have every reason to. You get used to clients telling you they felt taken care of from start to finish. Not that one person has said it. You get used to hearing it because it becomes the norm. How about gaining a dream client by receiving a referral from a current dream client? That is where dream clients come from. The friends and acquaintances of dream clients is where you get more dream clients. Knowing exactly what to say when a client asks a tough question is another place where you're going to, another example of that you're in this phase because you have figured it out. You know how to answer the tough questions. Let me give an example. Maybe someone asks for a discount and you give a response that you share with clarity and confidence. You were easily able to just answer the question in a way that made sense, in a way that made you feel intelligent, in a way that they understood, and it ended the question. And they were happy. Here's a few things to focus on when you're in the build phase. This phase is all about reinforcement. Double down on what works, refine what doesn't, of course, and protect your time and energy. Not everything needs to be a breakthrough. Progress in this phase is often quiet to others who might be watching what you're doing. And sometimes they're quiet even to you. But it's the kind that builds lasting momentum. Let your small wins stack up. Let your quick wins remind you that you are capable. Let your milestones prove that this is not only working, it's growing, and you are thrilled with your progress while still wanting more. If this is helping, tell me in the comments. Just say, it's helping. This is good. Or thanks. I like that one. Hit that like button, hit that love button each time you hear something that you like. The flow. This is where things really begin to click. Oh, you've felt this in previous phases, but now there's a consistency and there's expectation of success. You've worked hard to build your business with intention, and now you're seeing and feeling the payoff. You've created systems that support your ideal life. You've set boundaries that protect your time and energy, and you are finally moving with a rhythm that feels like it fits your ideal life. It doesn't mean that everything's perfect because it's not. It's not supposed to be. But a consistent confidence has shown up in your life, in your business, one that you were unaware of. Nope, you were aware of it, but it wasn't as consistent or steady compared to earlier phases. You're making decisions more quickly because you've been through enough to trust your instincts. You know what works. You know what's worth your time, worth your effort. You're not running on adrenaline. You're not bouncing around from idea to idea. You aren't only reacting anymore. Sure, there's reaction. But what you're doing is running on clarity. You do know what you're supposed to do next. You do know how to react in different situations. This is the flow phase. Here's some more signs that you're in the flow flow phase. You're getting consistent referrals from clients who loved their experience because you've got a system to enhance and encourage that type of thing. You've nailed your messaging, and your brand attracts the right people, what I call ideal clients. You're booking the types of photography sessions that align with your values and support your ideal life, your ideal schedule. You've built systems that let you spend more time creating and less time scrambling. You've moved beyond just earning enough. You've built pricing that supports your ideal life, and you're hitting those goals with confidence. Maybe you are outsourcing, or you are considering outsourcing, hiring. You're automating, at least you're attempting to move in that direction, but you probably at this stage are already automating so that you can protect your time. This phase is marked by consistency in your income, consistency in your confidence, in your messaging, and in your impact. Your small wins and quick wins are now tied to intentional decisions that build long-term momentum. Let me give you an example of that. You set boundaries around your availability and you stick to them without guilt. You invest in tools that align with your goals. You fully understand, value, and invest in continuing education because, unlike previous versions of you, you now know that despite building the kind of business that others are now looking at and wanting to model, you still have a lot to learn. And you say things like, I wish I would have hired Jim Landers as a coach a long time ago. It sure would have made this process a lot quicker and smoother. I'm going to send him a message right now. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I'll tell you one quick story. There was one person that says, I have been wanting to reach out to you for 8 years, and I never felt like it was the right time. I always felt like that's something I'm going to do when I'm ready. 8 years. Guys, I'm offering time with me for free. There is zero excuse. Oh, that's today's handout. I meant to put up this. Get a free business assessment. Reach out to me. Calendly.com/photoschool/15min. Make it happen. Reach out to me. I can help. You're watching the show, so clearly you have some level of confidence that that's the truth. Let it happen today, not 8 years from now. Here's some things to focus on when you are in the flow. Protect what you've built. The temptation here is to chase bigger, faster, more. But the real value of this phase is in the stability you've earned. That doesn't mean you stop growing. It could mean that, but it doesn't mean it. It means you grow with direction and planned intention. You can look ahead with more clarity and make thoughtful decisions about what's next better than ever. You have long since left chasing every opportunity. The flow phase doesn't remove the challenges, but now you meet them with tools, with perspective, with experience, and a strong foundation. You're not guessing, you're choosing quickly, and you're choosing with confidence. Is this resonating with you today? If so, go to the comments section and just tell me yes. Or you can share a story maybe that you have. Phase 5 of 6. The stretch is where your business begins asking for more because you're ready for more. Things are going well. You've built something strong, and now unexpected opportunities are opening up, and you're being invited to expand both directly and indirectly. You might be stretching into a new offering, a new audience, a bigger goal, a higher level of leadership, or a complementary direction you may not have explored until now. You feel capable. You're proud of what you built, but you also feel the tension of stepping into something more so than what you have felt before. This is where new growth lives. It's past the edge of what's familiar. Some will resist this phase because it may feel risky. Maybe it is. Others leap too quickly without a strategy. They had it prior to now, and now they've reverted back to the way they used to do things. You need a strategy. The sweet spot is recognizing that the stretch phase is a choice. You don't have to do it. You don't have to scale. You don't have to grow. You don't have to build a bigger team. You don't have to expand beyond your original vision. But if you want to, this is the moment to stretch with intention. Let me give you a few common signs that you are in the stretch phase. You're reaching or exceeding your current capacity, and you're considering what's next. You're creating new offerings or restructuring your pricing to reflect a new level. You're feeling pulled to maybe teach, mentor, exhibit, be on podcasts, partner with other businesses, or expand your creative reach. Creating images that is outside of your norm. You're refining your client experience to be more aligned, more streamlined, more premium, or more hands-off so that you can feel free to do other things. You're getting opportunities you may have once dreamed about, but they are going to require more time from you. The stretch comes with quick wins like landing a high-end client, launching a new package, getting asked to speak or collaborate. It also brings small wins like building a new workflow, refining the way you convey your message, or testing a new offer. And the milestones, they often cause you to think something like, I never thought I'd be doing this, and now I am. Here's what to focus on when you're in the stretch. Be strategic, not reactive. You are well aware by this phase in your professional journey that not every opportunity is a good one. You actually experienced this a few phases back, but here you have that confidence. Here you can explain it to others. Not every opportunity is a good one, but your confidence in this phase sometimes is overconfidence. Not every stretch is the right stretch. This is a phase where your energy, your clarity, and your systems need to support the bigger vision of your business. But just know that stretching too soon or at the wrong moment, it can cause problems. Check in with your vision statement, your mission statement, your value statement. If you're aiming to stretch, make sure it aligns with the kind of life and the business that you have set out to build. Stretching for the sake of ego, comparison, fear of missing out, what you may often hear FOMO, fear of missing out. These things could take you away from the freedom that you wanted to reach, that maybe you already have reached. You have built something great by this phase. The stretch phase is your chance to expand it if you choose to, not by chasing everything, but by choosing options that support your growth, your values, and your purpose, just like it has been all along. You guys have any thoughts or stories? Have you felt any of these examples that I'm giving? Share those with me in the comments. Let me know. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live, letting me know that you're watching live. Phase 6. The legacy phase is about deepening your impact. You've built a business that works. You've grown into the photographer and business owner that you set out to be. And now you're asking a new kind of question. How do I make this count for more than just me? Legacy doesn't necessarily lead to fame. It doesn't necessarily need to some type of formal recognition. It shows up in the way your work impacts people for generations. It's in how you've mentored others, in how your systems, your standards, and your client experience continue to serve your ideal clients well. Even if and when you're not directly involved, it still is doing that. Your photography business isn't just about what you do or what you've done. It's about what you've built and how it lasts. You may stay in this phase while still creating, while still growing, or you may shift your focus to teaching, licensing, transitioning ownership of your business, retiring. Some photographers stay active in photography forever until they can't. Others begin planning what comes next. Either way, the goal is sustainability with meaning. So let me give you a few common signs that you're in the legacy phase. You've built a reputation that brings in consistent, high-trust clients. You never chase them. Again, this does happen in previous steps, but this definitely is part of this one. You mentor or teach because of your experience and because you have gained over the years clarity. You're refining your business to be more hands-off or maybe more selective, and you're doing less. You're interested in passing on your knowledge, your systems, or your business. You're more motivated by impact than you are income and visibility. This phase includes some quiet milestones. Maybe you create your last price list. I did that when I decided I wasn't going to photograph weddings anymore. I created a last price list. I didn't necessarily not want to do it anymore, but I raised my prices to the point where if someone did ask me to do it, at that price, I'd be happy to do it. Yeah, creating your last price list. Turning down any work that doesn't energize you without hesitation. Building a course or a mentorship program. Preparing your business to run without you. You share your best knowledge with others, not because you're done, but because you're generous and you want others to be successful. Here's some things to focus on while in the legacy phase. Be intentional with the meaning you want your work to carry. Ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind? That could be lessons, systems, images, values, or simply the way people felt working with you. Legacy is created through consistency and care. You don't have to do something huge to make a lasting difference. You choose to pour into people and parts of your business that matter most. You've already done the hard work. Now it's just time to do things that make it last. Are you getting something out of this today? You feeling this? Let me know in the comments. Also, in the comments, I want you to share your experiences. Even ask some questions. And as always, for every episode of the Portrait Profit Show, I have a handout. So if you want today's handout, just enter in hashtag live in the comments section or send me an email, Jim at portraitprofits.com, Jim at portraitprofits.com. We're almost done. Just the closing thoughts are left. You didn't build your business by accident. It wasn't by luck. Any luck that you experience, that was because you put yourself in a position to receive it. Each phase you've moved through, whether you noticed it at the time or not, brings you to where you are now. And right now, you are in exactly the right place to take your next step with purpose. Understanding these 6 phases that I've just shared with you helps you to move forward with clarity. It reminds you that confusion is part of the early momentum, that refinement follows that mess, that flow doesn't come from force, but from intention, and that legacy is built with consistent effort every single day of your entire career. What matters is that you're building something that supports the life you want to live. You're not behind, you guys. You're right where you need to be. You're building. If you guys need any help with these suggestions that I've shared with you today, my private coaching is available for you to use so that you can implement the right tools for your business. So reach out to me. Get started with my 15-minute session. It's free. I'll put it on the screen one last time. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show happens every single Monday. And so I want to share with you what's coming next. In 1 week from today, it's the second Monday of November. And on the second Monday, we move the time from noon to 6:30 in the evening because we bring someone on, or we bring on a group. So this time we're going to have a panel discussion, and I'm going to bring on photographers. I'm going to ask them questions so that you can hear opinions in addition to mine, because every other Monday you're hearing just my opinion on the subject. On these panel discussions, you get to hear more than just my opinion. November 10th at 6:30. Let me put that on the screen. November 10th at 6:30 p.m. for a panel discussion. Add it to your calendar. And then 1 week after that, we're doing a business health checkup for portrait photographers. Now, this is really for any business owner, just like the one we just did. But this is episode number 246, the business health checkup for portrait photographers. Your portraits are priceless. But is your business set up to take you where you want to go? The business health checkup for portrait photographers helps you know what's working and find out what is holding you back. November 17th at noon, the business health checkup for portrait photographers. And to round out the month of November, take that off. We're going to be talking about fast photographers win. We're going to break the habits of overthinking, perfectionism, and procrastination, and build success with speed. Isn't that what you want? Because speed, not perfection, brings momentum, growth, and success. That's November 24th at noon for Fast Photographers Win. Add those to your calendar. You have a lot going on. If those aren't on your calendar, you're highly likely going to forget. And I know you want to be there for them. I want to thank you, Lens Legends, for joining me today in this lesson on the 6 phases of building a business. Wherever you find yourself, whether you're feeling currently the excitement of the spark, the structure of the build, the stretch of something new, I hope this helped you name the phase where you are, so that you can focus on what matters most in this phase and move forward with intent. Because that clarity gives you power. When you understand your phase, you don't waste time comparing yourself to someone else's progress. You don't get stuck chasing things that don't fit. Instead, you take smart, intentional steps that match your momentum. And that is what creates long-term success. Lens Legends, your business isn't stuck. It isn't behind. It's where it needs to be. It's growing phase by phase into something real, something personal, something that reflects the life that you're purposefully building. So, as we end another show, I hope that the ideas and strategies that we've explored today have resonated with you. And I hope you're able to move forward with confidence. If you haven't already, enter in #live, letting me know you're watching live. If you like what you're hearing, click that like button, click that love button. And I want you to know that the world is waiting for your unique vision. If you're moving too slowly, the world isn't getting it. And what you have is valuable. So I'll say it again. The world is waiting for your unique vision and your ability to touch lives through portraiture. Trust in your talent. Believe in the impact you can make. And let your light shine brightly. Seize today as an opportunity to let your passion soar, making the world a more beautiful place, one portrait at a time. I want to thank you, Lens Legends, for your time and attention here today. I want to thank you for the efforts that you make every day to be such a great example of an amazing portrait photographer, making the entire industry look fantastic. Thank you for those efforts. Together, we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I bring you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep thriving and keep growing. I really do look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.